Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Rundown. We're going to go over the MLB playoff games scheduled for Saturday, October 8th, 2022. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below, and if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Saturday, October 8th in the Wild Card Series. First up, we see the Tampa Bay Rays taking on the Cleveland Guardians. The Guardians currently lead the series 1-0, and the projected pitchers are Tyler Glasnow for Tampa Bay and Tristan McKenzie for the Guardians. Now, we saw Game 1, a pitcher's duel, 2-1 final score, and there was not much offense from either team. We saw the Rays, their only offense, a home run by Jose Siri in the top of the sixth, a solo homer, and then the Guardians in the bottom of the sixth, the go-ahead and eventual game-winning home run by Jose Ramirez, a two-run homer there, and that's all the offense was. Both pitchers, both starters, Shane McClanahan and Shane Bieber had really good outings in that one. The Guardians bullpen with Clase in the ninth inning, he actually got a 4-out save in the eighth and ninth inning. Locked down. He was very sharp in his performance, but I do think this Rays team is still good enough to at least grab a game in this series. I do like the Rays to bounce back and grab the win on Saturday afternoon. I know it's not going to be the most popular play. I know a lot of people are liking the way the Guardians are looking, and I don't blame you. I mean, this Guardians team has not only been fun to watch, but they're doing the fundamentals perfectly. Great defense, great pitching, great bullpen, and situational offense, but I still think Tyler Glasnow has looked real good in his first two starts at the major league level after his injury, and Tristan McKenzie, a little bit of a high xFIP. The home run ball does hurt him at times, and I do think the Rays could get to him for a few runs. I think the offense a little bit better in this spot for Tampa Bay, so I'm taking the Tampa Bay Rays here on the money line. Next up, we see Game 2 between the Seattle Mariners and the Toronto Blue Jays. The Mariners currently lead the series 1-0, and Robbie Ray and Kevin Gausman are your projected starters. Now, the Mariners played their first game in the playoffs since 2001, and it did not disappoint the fan base in Seattle, as it was a 4-0 final score for this Mariners plus money winner on the money line if you took them there. And the Mariners looking to earn another road victory as the underdog. This game, a little bit more of a sizable underdog with Ray on the mound, and Robbie Ray wasn't in his best form to end the regular season. His last start of the regular season gave up 5 earned runs and 3 homers to the Oakland Athletics. That is very concerning for me, as we know the Oakland A's offense is nothing to write home about. And overall, you look at the last few games for Robbie Ray, his last 5 starts against the Braves, Angels, Athletics, Rangers, and Athletics. So 4 of those 5 teams not playing in the postseason, well below 500 records. All 5 of those games, the Mariners winded up losing, whether it was Robbie Ray's fault or not. All 5 were losses. And when you look at the Toronto Blue Jays against left-handed pitching, sure, their strikeout rate is a little bit high at 26%. I don't love to see that. But their team OPS and isolated power numbers, especially the power numbers, are good against lefties. I think they get to Robbie Ray, a former Blue Jay himself, a guy who won the Cy Young with the Blue Jays last season. But I do think the Blue Jays offense wakes up after a real head-scratching performance on Friday. This was one of the hotter offenses going into the playoffs, and then they get shut out in Game 1. I think they show up here, score some runs, but I also like the Mariners to get to Kevin Gausman on the other side. When you look at Kevin Gausman this season, pitched really well on the road overall. His ERA below 2.5. It was at 2.3 in 94 road innings. However, at home, a 4.57 ERA. He wasn't the sharpest in his most recent outing. He was actually taken out of that game pretty early, and he's been battling a little bit of an injury on his hand, but he should be fine in this game overall. But I just think the Mariners offense, one of the tougher offenses to face right now. They scored 4 runs early in that game on Friday. Their team OPS and isolated power numbers against righties in the last month are both in the top 10. Their isolated power numbers rank 3rd in the league in that stretch, and I think they get to Gausman for a few runs. I think both of these starting pitchers actually make some early exits, and I think we see an over. We saw the total for this game open up at 7. Now it's up to 7.5 in a few spots. I like it at 7 and 7.5. Give me the over in this Mariners-Blue Jays contest. In our next game, we see the San Diego Padres taking on the New York Mets. The Padres lead the series 1-0. It looks like Blake Snell and Jacob deGrom will be the starters for Game 2, and the Padres, a dominant performance on Friday night, 7-1 final score. The Padres hit 4 home runs in that one. That was their offense against Max Scherzer, giving up 4 homers. And when you look at Jacob deGrom, the end of regular season, he had some issues with the home run ball and his location overall against the Athletics, Pirates, and Braves. And I just wouldn't want to lay this kind of price with the Mets with how bad their offense has been struggling lately, especially runners in scoring position. They haven't really been great against lefties overall this season, and the fact that deGrom hasn't been in the best of form, I just think the value's here with the underdog and in the Padres, at least on the run line, getting those 1.5 runs. I think it's going to be a close game, probably a one-run game either way you slice it. But when you look at San Diego and Blake Snell, he faced these Mets back on July 23rd at Citi Field, a 5-inning shutout performance with 5 strikeouts and a 2-1 Padres win. I got to take the runs here, the 1.5 runs with the San Diego Padres. I wouldn't be shocked to see him win this game and sweep the wild card series, as crazy as it sounds when the Mets winning 100 games in the regular season. But the Padres look real good on Friday night, and I do think they have a good chance at least competing here. So give me the San Diego Padres on the run line. And in our final game of Saturday night in the MLB postseason, it's the Philadelphia Phillies and the St. Louis Cardinals. So the Phillies, the underdog in this series, are now leading the series 1-0, and they're actually the favorites in Game 2 with Aaron Nola and Miles Mikolas on the mound. So, this is the first time we're seeing the road team as favorites in any of these wild card games, and I actually think it makes a lot of sense. I think there is a big advantage here in the starting pitching matchup for Philadelphia, and I mentioned in the video on Friday night, I thought the Phillies had the better bullpen in this series. And we saw on Friday, the Cardinals bullpen blew it in the end, and the Phillies grabbed the win 6-3. A pretty much stunning performance by the Phillies, as they really weren't doing much offensively at all in that game until the 9th inning. And when you look at Aaron Nola, solid pitcher this season for Philadelphia. He certainly had some inconsistent outings against some of the tougher teams in the National League, but his last start to end the regular season against a really good Astros lineup, he went 6 2/3 innings, 9 strikeouts, no earned runs, one of the better starts he's really had in his career. And you look at Miles Mikolas, inconsistent has really been the big thing for him in the second half of the season, whether he's pitching on the road or at home. And you look at the Cardinals offensively, I mentioned in the Friday video, against right-handed pitching, their numbers just haven't been great. Isolated power ranked 18th in the last month. Their team OPS ranked 19th. And you look at the Philadelphia Phillies, top 6 in team OPS, number 4 in isolated power against those right-handed pitchers. I think the Phillies are favorites on the road for a reason, and I think they have a good shot at sweeping this series. So give me the Philadelphia Phillies on the money line at a decent price. And that's it. Those are the games for Saturday, October 8th in the Wild Card Series. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And don't forget to put your baseball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pickdawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.